Have you ever stopped to think about the journey your morning coffee takes before it reaches your table? Or how your smartphone, a device you use every day, and even your car, all find their way into your life? Each of these everyday items has a story that begins far from home and travels across borders, oceans, and continents before becoming part of your daily routine. Trade is the invisible thread connecting us all, weaving together the lives of people from every corner of the globe. Ships, trucks, and planes move goods day and night, creating a vast network that keeps our world running smoothly. Without this constant flow, our shelves would be empty and our choices limited. But trade is more than just numbers and statistics. It's about sharing ideas, creating opportunities, and building bridges between nations and cultures. Every handshake, every agreement, and every partnership brings us closer together, fostering understanding and cooperation. When countries trade, everyone brings their best to the table. This exchange creates abundance, prosperity, and a rich tapestry of goods and experiences. From exotic fruits at your local market to innovative technology in your pocket, trade enriches our lives in countless ways. Trade isn't just for big corporations. It lifts up small businesses, farmers, and innovators too. It gives local producers a chance to share their talents with the world and helps new ideas flourish, driving progress and growth in every community. But what happens when the biggest player at the table starts to struggle? When uncertainty and financial challenges arise, the effects ripple outward, touching every business, every worker, and every family. A nation's ability to trade depends on its own economic health and stability. When confidence falters, so does the flow of goods, investments, and opportunities. The strength of a country's economy is the foundation for its role in the global marketplace. Right now, North America is at a turning point. The choices made today will shape the future of trade, prosperity, and leadership on the continent for generations to come. The United States, long the continent's economic powerhouse, now faces a staggering national debt. This challenge threatens not only its own stability, but also the balance of trade and influence across North America. As America grapples with these economic headwinds, Canada is quietly stepping into a new leadership role. With a stable economy and growing global connections, Canada is poised to shape the next chapter of North American trade and prosperity. $37 trillion. That's the staggering amount of money the United States owes, an amount so massive it's almost impossible to truly imagine. If you stacked $1 bills, it would reach the moon and back several times. This is the U.S. national debt, a number that keeps climbing every second. This debt isn't just a statistic, it's a reflection of decades of choices, policies, and events. Every year, the government spends more than it brings in, borrowing to cover the gap. Over time, these deficits have added up, creating a financial burden that touches every American. Imagine it like a giant credit card bill for the entire country, one that keeps growing as we buy things we can't fully afford. From funding schools and roads to paying for healthcare and defense, the government's spending habits have outpaced its income year after year. Wars, economic downturns, and sweeping tax cuts have all played a part. Now, a significant portion of the federal budget goes just to paying interest on this debt, money that could have been used for education, infrastructure, or innovation. This enormous debt acts like a weight on the economy, forcing leaders to make tough decisions. Should we cut spending on vital programs, raise taxes, or risk higher inflation by borrowing even more? Each choice comes with its own set of challenges and consequences. It's like trying to run a marathon with a heavy backpack. Every step forward is harder, every goal more difficult to reach. The burden slows progress, making it tougher for families and businesses to thrive. When the economy weakens at home, it doesn't just affect Americans. It also means the country has less influence and power on the global stage, making it harder to lead and inspire others. Other nations start to question America's reliability as a partner. They wonder if the U.S. can keep its promises, or if its financial troubles will spill over into the rest of the world. As uncertainty grows, businesses and investors look elsewhere for stability and opportunity. They seek out countries with stronger finances and more predictable futures. This is the crack in the foundation that's allowed a new leader to emerge right next door. Canada, with its stable economy and growing influence, is stepping into the spotlight. As America turns inward to deal with its debt, the world is watching and adjusting. Trade routes shift, alliances change, and new centers of power begin to rise. The consequences of America's debt ripple far beyond Washington, affecting economies and lives around the globe. The stage is set for change. The choices made today will shape not just America's future, but the future of the world. America's debt isn't just a domestic problem, it's shaking confidence in the US dollar, the very currency that has long been the backbone of global trade and finance. As the world watches the US struggle with its growing financial obligations, doubts are rising about the dollar's future as the world's reserve currency. The US dollar was once the world's gold standard, a symbol of stability and trust. For decades, nations everywhere held dollars as a safe haven, confident that America would always honor its debts and commitments. But now, investors worry the US might print more money to cover its debts, making the dollar less valuable and global trade riskier. Every new round of money printing sends ripples of uncertainty through financial markets, causing investors to question whether the dollar can maintain its value in the long run. This uncertainty complicates international deals and makes U.S. goods less attractive to buyers abroad. When the value of the dollar is in doubt, foreign partners hesitate, and American exports suffer, leading to fewer shipments and empty shelves. To cope, the U.S. has sometimes turned to tariffs and trade barriers, hoping to protect domestic industries. But these measures often backfire, raising prices for consumers and sparking trade wars that hurt American workers and businesses even more. The result? Former partners are looking elsewhere for stability and opportunity. As America's reliability is questioned, countries and companies are forging new alliances and seeking out alternative markets. America's focus on its own problems has left a leadership vacuum on the world stage. With U.S. policymakers distracted by internal debates, the country's traditional role as a global leader is fading. Into that space steps Canada, offering calm, reliability, and open arms to global partners. Canada's reputation for stability and inclusiveness is attracting attention from investors and governments alike. While the U.S. looks inward, Canada is building new bridges, both literally and figuratively. The country is signing new international agreements, investing in infrastructure, and welcoming diverse talent from around the world. The world is taking notice. Headlines highlight Canada's growing influence, and global conferences increasingly feature the Canadian flag as a symbol of trust and cooperation. The throne of North American trade leadership is no longer secure. Trade routes and investment flows are shifting northward, as businesses and governments seek out new centers of stability. Canada's steady approach is winning trust. International investors are choosing Canadian markets for their transparency, predictability, and long-term growth potential. The balance of power is shifting. As economic centers realign, Canada's influence is growing, and the world is watching this transformation unfold. A new era is beginning, one where Canada stands ready to lead, offering a fresh vision for North American prosperity and global partnership. How did Canada rise? Through smart choices and steady discipline. Canada kept its finances in check, building a reputation for stability. While the U.S. debated tariffs, Canada signed major trade deals with Europe and the Asia-Pacific. These agreements opened huge new markets for Canadian goods and services. International companies now see Canada as a gateway to North America. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver are attracting global investment and talent. Canada's approach is quiet confidence, not confrontation. By focusing on trust and openness, Canada has become the continent's new trade leader. It's a powerful lesson. Steady effort and smart policy can change the world. The world is responding to Canada's reliability. Canada's debt-to-GDP ratio is far healthier than America's, giving it room to invest in the future. This stability attracts international investors looking for a safe bet. Canada's tech sector is booming, with cities like Toronto and Waterloo leading in AI and innovation. In clean energy, Canada is a global leader, creating sustainable jobs and growth. Foreign investment is pouring in, building factories and research centers. Small businesses are thriving too, thanks to new trade deals. Canadian farmers and tech companies now reach customers worldwide. By diversifying its trade partners, Canada has built a resilient, dynamic economy. It's less vulnerable to shocks and better positioned for long-term success. The world is betting on Canada's future. The results are clear. Stability pays off. The U.S. and Canada have taken very different paths. America's protectionist turn, tariffs, Buy American, aimed to protect jobs but often isolated the country. Canada chose openness, signing trade deals and welcoming investment. This confidence in global partnership has paid off. America's political divisions have made fiscal discipline difficult, fueling uncertainty. Canada's steady approach has become its greatest asset. the roles have reversed. Canada is now the bridge builder, and the world is crossing those bridges. Choices matter, and Canada's choices are reshaping North America. This shift isn't just about governments, it affects your daily life. In Canada, new trade deals and investment mean more jobs and opportunities in future-focused industries. A stronger Canadian dollar boosts purchasing power. For Americans, the changes are mixed. Some jobs face new competition, and tariffs can mean higher prices at the store. U.S. companies may lose contracts to Canadian rivals with better global access. The cost of living is rising faster in the U.S. than in Canada. More Americans may look north for work or business opportunities. This isn't about winners and losers. It's about adapting to a new reality. Understanding these changes is key to thriving in a shifting world. The future of work and opportunity in North America is being rewritten. It's time to pay attention. North America stands at a crossroads. America's debt and protectionism have shaken its leadership, while Canada's steady hand has earned global trust. This isn't the end for the U.S., but a wake-up call to adapt and rebuild. Canada's rise is a lesson in the power of reliability and smart policy. The future will require new collaboration between these neighbors. Success is shared, prosperity for one depends on the other. The challenge ahead is to build a continent that's strong, stable, and open to the world. A new dawn is breaking, shaped by new leaders and new possibilities.